You are now live.
He did it.
This has been day 4 of Le Pranic Retreat. Dang, Eli hopped up quickly. Look, Eli jumped up on that thing. He must have had a notification. That man said, notify me. Much love to you. Much love to you, family. This has been day 4 of Le Pranic Retreat. Wow. A lot happened. A lot. We just taken a deep breath. Yes, we tapped in, tuned in, turned on, like the brothers say. Shout out, family. Man, just want to shout out Eli. Shout out Serge. Shout out the Cosmic Replicant Moon Worshipper. Shout out Orthodoxy. David, what's going on? Jennifer, thank you for being. Much love. So, yeah. My goodness. Where do we start?
For once, I'm speechless.
Where do we start? Yeah. We went to a secret garden. You know what I'm saying? Met by the Oak Creek. At a secret garden. Got to speak by the Oak Creek. That was a nice one. The energy was at its peak near the Oak Creek. We did, 3 different meditations, right? We did lying down Qigong. We did the Merkaba. Or the Merkaba.
Merkaba.
Okay, the Merkaba? I don't know the pronunciation. The Merkaba.
Either way.
And then we did the microcosmic orbit at the end to kick it off real quick before they headed back down to the creek. And everybody was tapped in, tuned in, turned on, like Elijah say. Sat Nam, brother. You were increasing that field. Talk about the Merkaba real quick, or the Merkaba.
So I've done this practice like a few years ago. I read in an Isis oracle deck, and it gave an instruction for like a visualization to access your Merkaba, and which is your light body vehicle. So right now we're activating our light bodies. That's what happens when you're embodying more light than denseness, and just activating these energy centers in the body, connecting to your light, more to your auric field, more to your light body. So the Merkaba is your light body like vehicle. And you've seen this depicted in pictures, ancient pictures all over, where they're in the sky in this like little vehicle. Like some look like a circle, some look different, but some have fire coming out the end of them. But what it's depicting is your Merkaba, or your light body vehicle. So
yeah, and it was like spinning pyramids. You know, we were spinning the pyramids. They were arguing about the tetrahedron.
Yeah. 3-sided or 4-sided.
The Star of David.
So yeah, you imagine yourself. It's all visual. Everything is created with the mind. So you already have this. It's just a matter of like accessing it or tapping in, connecting with it. But it's already there. We all have it. So it's like a triangle or like a pyramid, but it has 4 corners. So imagine you're sitting in the very center of the pyramid. The top is about a couple feet above your head, and the bottoms just come out like that. You can actually make it smaller or larger too, so don't worry about the size really. But just picture yourself sitting in a upright pyramid. The other pyramid comes out through the shoulder blades, like the bottom of it. It's upside down. So the bottom of it is like here, flat, and then it goes like this down, underneath you.
Into the earth.
Yeah, so it's merging the cosmic with the earth. And you envision one spinning one way and one spinning the other way. And it doesn't really matter which way each one spins, just as long as they're spinning in opposite directions.
Yeah. And it's a pretty powerful meditation. I mean, you have a tube of light, a light beam coming down. You're putting your hands in different mudras. And
I didn't even do none of that when I did it.
Oh, okay, true.
And it worked. I felt like I was about to float, and I had to open my eyes. But when we did it today, like you're saying,
Yeah, well, I was following the instructions like an instruction manual. You know, I was like, okay, you know, put this mudra, that mudra, and then we would breathe in the light, expand the orb of energy inside the pyramids, and then at the end of the 14th breath, or the 14th mudra, we would blast the energy all around the pyramid as it's spinning, and then we would program the pyramid with a word of our choosing. Everybody had a secret word of their choosing that they programmed their pyramids with. We also commanded the body to detox, we commanded the body to regenerate, and we commanded the body to heal. And yeah.
So with each breath, like he said, there's a tube you envision, like pulling in the light through your crown chakra into the body, into your like abdomen. Each breath you're pulling in more light. So by the 14th, you just burst that light out of you, and you're already in this vehicle. So it's just like it doesn't go out of you. It's in your vehicle.
Right.
And that's how it's cleansing and healing the body.
Right.
Within your Merkaba.
And people's pyramids was touching other people. You know, we were like blasting off, you know, like Team Rocket. You ever seen Pokemon? They was blasting off again. We was blasting off with the pyramids today, and people's energy, you could feel it. You know, you could feel tingling sensations, warm sensations, cool sensations, you know, and I even felt pulsating in some of my, you know, the areas around my head, around my temples. And they were saying if you feel things like that, then you need to clear some energy in that area, or like there's like blockages.
It's all energy. So it's wanting to get pushed out of your light body. It doesn't need to be there. So that's that pressure you're feeling. It's just that pressure from it trying to clear it out.
Yeah. And like our friend Sunrise said, you know, no pressure, no diamond. No pressure, no diamond. So don't be afraid of a little bit of pressure. Understand that, you know, you're making a diamond with that pressure. Something's happening with that pressure. Sometimes we need a little pressure, you know. So yeah. So what else did you enjoy?
Just the group. I'm so glad we extended our days to finish out the 5. So I got to meet even more people that are just my soul family.
Yeah. The collective energy was definitely palpable. You could feel everyone on one accord, on one vibe. We even talked about different words and the etymology of what you said today, atonement. And atonement, you broke it down. What'd you break it down to?
At one meant.
And at one meant. If you know the word meant, you can replace it with the word mind. So atonement, at one meant, at one mind. Unity consciousness. We are all one mind, you know. We are all one meant. Yeah.
And this is how we bring harmony and peace and unity at one meant to the plane that we live on currently, by creating it inside, by feeling that inside, as within, so without.
Exactly.
And in a group, it's even more powerful. So.
Yeah, just like you said, you know, the law of correspondence, as above, so below. And you see that, you know, on the level when we're creating these conscious communities and people are flocking together, like they say, birds of a feather flock together. And we're all soaring in our own individual ways, in our own uniqueness. You too, like you who are watching this right now, you're here for a purpose. I believe you're not here by accident. Even if you're seeing this on the replay right now, it's for a reason, you know, not just the season. So embrace this time right now. Embrace your season right now and the time that you have available to take advantage of the energy. So let's see some of the things that you wrote down, because you were taking notes like
this is my field. The Egyptian ancient knowledge that, like Elitam said, this knowledge has always been here. And it hasn't been taken away from humanity. We've just kind of not seen it. We've just been distracted by all the illusions and things that are put on us to distract us. But it's always been here. So I study this ancient knowledge. I wear goddess Isis on my neck. I wear an ankh every single day on my ring here. So yeah, this is ancient stuff, and it's powerful.
A lot of energy.
It's powerful.
Yeah, Egypt came up a lot today, actually. We were talking a lot about Egypt, and you even got excited when they talked about the things moving with the mind and how moving objects with the mind in the back in those times. Yeah.
What's it called?
I forget what, like telekinesis?
Telekinesis?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so how do they move these large objects? With their mind. Or it's with their mind, but it's working with energy. So it's with frequency, but with the mind and the frequency. So
yeah. Kindred spirits too. Like you could tell when people were joining each other, people with tattoos of Egyptian symbols, people with the necklaces. She had the
Miss Jenny had the Ankh on as well, and she had an angel right here and Thoth right here. So I'm all about this angelic energy and the Egyptian ancient knowledge. Just beautiful.
So people coming together from all areas, you know, we had people from Chicago, people from Cincinnati, Ohio, people from Atlanta, people from Kentucky, Louisville, people from California, people from Texas, you know what I'm saying? Texas. So all joining together in these vortexes on one accord at one mind, you know? Yeah. Take a breath on that. Yeah, a lot of breathing today, a lot of breath work for sure. I was out there playing my flute for a good minute. You can believe it. You can believe it. So, yeah, let's see number 1, because I know you got a few on here.
Oh, man.
And somebody asked what the flute was called. I think somebody just asked, what is the flute called? Sorry, I don't remember the name. It's called a shakuhachi. Yeah, Japanese bamboo flute, shakuhachi. And much love to you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you.
Today was a lot about grounding. We're talking so much about energy, about electricity, about light.
Big time.
About biophotons, whatever word you want to put on it, it's all the same. It's all the same, just different terminology. So just like the electricity in the house, they're saying that it needs that grounding. You know, I went to the store earlier and I met some wonderful brothers, and he knew instantly I had this dolphin energy, this Lumerian mermaid energy. You know, he can like shapeshift into a bear. Both of them were speaking light language to me. Just beautiful, beautiful brothers. And I came back like, oh, I'm so buzzing. I'm buzzing. I was shaking. My hands were shaking because I have so much electricity and light and energy running through this vessel. I'm like, come here, my tree, like,
right here,
me.
And right here in Sedona, like one of them was a Sunbird, and Sunbird has all the adornments.
Yes.
You know, he has got all the the
he
bones.
makes his
and
own
teeth.
jewelry. Yes. Yeah, and he does that bufo.
Oh, 5-MeO.
Yeah, they both do
DMT,
that.
yeah.
They give that.
Yeah.
Lots of sound healing, light language attunements.
Very expansive.
All kinds of things they do.
So yeah, so going off of what you learned today.
The grounding.
Okay, grounding was big. Yeah, that was basically the first message that we started off before we went into the other messages. So what did you catch from that one?
Shayna said you can watch the documentary called Earthing on YouTube. That's really good. I don't think I've seen it, so I was going to check that out.
That's a good one.
Jenny also said, what's her name?
Beata.
Yeah, Beata said that her mom would carry a little bag of soil as a necklace. Like instead of carrying a little bag of crystals, she had a little bag of soil to have that grounding energy always on her. I thought that was really interesting because I am always knowing I need to ground because I'm already so etheric and so angelic realms and these higher vibrations and frequencies, and then I get on this vibe and I get so excited, and then pranic living just increases like a billion times more for me, so I need grounding.
One of my good friends, Chakudi, shout out to Absorb More Sun. If you've ever followed Absorb More Sun on here on Instagram, brother Chakudi, he told me plant your soul in the soil and let the soul, SOL, cleanse your soul, SOUL. So plant your soul, SOL.
That's like 3 souls.
Yeah, SOLE.
The soul
plant
and
the sole of your foot in the soil, and let the soul touch your soul.
How magical is that in 3s? What else?
It's a beautiful reminders. Much love. Yeah, much love. They said they laying down just listening.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Get comfortable.
Yeah, we definitely were comfortable at this one today.
What did he say? It works more when you're relaxed. Like Qigong, these energy practices, they work more more when you're relaxed.
Yeah.
So.
The more you relax the body, the easier the energy flows.
Exactly.
Yeah, all around.
So you can also use copper.
Right.
You know, you can wear copper bracelets, copper jewelry. There are shoes, the earth runners that have copper on the bottom of the shoe. Lots of other ones too that have copper on the bottom I've seen. Shayna said you could just wrap some copper wire around your shoe.
Pretty much.
You can make your own little charm of copper and throw it on there.
Yeah, do it how you like it. You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Copper is really good for grounding. So is gold and other things too. Let's see. Vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's a hormone.
Ooh, what he was talking about, the synthesis.
Yes.
So when we're talking about human photosynthesis, that it's like the combining. So when the sun hits you, you know, our skin is the largest organ, great absorber of that energy. And when it combines with like the calcium in the blood, creating vitamin D.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the sun doesn't really give it to us. It creates this substance with our substances that together create vitamin D.
So it's a combining.
And it's not even a vitamin, it's a hormone.
Yeah. So very interesting. Very interesting how we were finding out how nature always provides on every level, you know? And especially with grounding, how we went into the vitamin C and all those things that come with it. Very interesting. The antioxidants and all sorts of stuff, yeah.
Unless your body cannot produce it on its own, then you might need a supplement. But our bodies are able to produce this on its own.
Yeah.
So Shayna pointed out that the first ones that were vitamin D deficient, or C, was it C or D? Oh, C, were the sailors.
Okay.
Because in order to get it too, you need that grounding energy.
Right. Plant your feet on the ground.
So if they're at the sea, they became vitamin C deficient. Yeah.
So what, like scurvy and all that sorts of stuff, you know, came up. I'm sure that they had a whole host of things, but once they got to shore, I'm sure that they was, you know. Like
Ellie Tom said when he was in the snow.
Yeah.
And he was having a little, you know, with the coldness, with his barefoot journey. He got to a different town. He's
Yeah. Had to get back on it.
Had to get back on the grounding.
So yeah, even just a few minutes, you know, grounding in the grass, grounding in the earth or in the soil can have tremendous benefits, tremendous improvements, you know. You see it right away. And when we get when you talk about the negative ions in nature versus, you know, the positive ions that we get from technology, being around technology all the time, absorbing all of that, the positive ions, and going back into nature with the negative ions. And like you said, negative doesn't mean bad.
No.
It just means...
We need both.
Right.
We need both, positive and negative, to create that balance. Yeah.
Grounding is great for energy. Abu Bakr Abdallah. Grounding is great for energy. Chi circulation. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely is. Yeah. Just like it helps to circulate nutrients throughout a plant tree. Exactly. We were just talking about that. We were talking about that. Go ahead.
What else? Free radicals are produced when your body breaks down food. So if your body's not breaking down food, you're not producing free radicals. Something to think about.
Something to munch on.
Something to think about.
Yeah, food for thought. Food for thought, for sure. Shout out to Plant Master in the building. So much family joining here. Hey, Tanya's in here too. Tracy. Oh, what's going on, Axel? Much love to y'all. Just giving y'all a shout out real quick. Kristen, Marvin, Jane. Oh, Jane's awesome. Much love. Clinton, Brian, Jesus. Thank y'all for being.
So some information on free radicals. Free radicals cause heart disease, cancer, and also other diseases as well. Which you get that from inhaling tobacco smoke, whether you're smoking it yourself or you're just secondhand smoke. You're getting those free radicals causing heart disease, cancer, and other diseases. So your body produces free radicals when it's digesting food. What does that tell you? I mean, it just made me like, wow.
Now, what did that tell you? when you heard that? How did you put two and two together?
It made me want to definitely like not allow my body to break down food anymore, because I don't want to do anything knowing that it's harming me. You know, and we all have our different levels of discipline and thought and whatnot, but I'm like extremely disciplined with putting my health first, because if I'm not putting myself first, I can't be of service like I want to help others. And that's my whole mission, is to help this planet and help humanity. So.
And how do you feel like you could
I can't live my purpose.
How do you feel you could be of best service then? Yeah.
Being disciplined and doing what I know is best for my body and my health. So knowing it causes something that causes heart disease. Here I am, like, been vegan since 2014, been on a pranic path since 2019. You know, like, just coming off of solid food and sticking to liquids only, living off prana. Like, I'm doing all this for my health, to not cause any illness. I don't agree with our medical system. We have to take our health into our own hands, become our own healer. So that's what I do. I don't want to develop these things. And that's why I switched everything I've been doing for years. So why would I then continue to do something causing this heart disease and cancer and other diseases? Like, no.
It's a
Your
health
mind
message.
can't go back.
Yeah.
Once you've learned something, it can't go back. So now that this has been taught to me and I've ingested it, the mind knows it now.
It's a health message, you know? And it's also a feeling state, because if you didn't feel good with the things that you've been doing lately, with the practices that you've been adopting, with the discipline that you've been adopting, with the diets that you've been adopting, I mean,
it's always listening to your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's whatever feels good for you. We all have a different makeup, even though we're all in a human body. You know, we're all at different stages of development, of evolution, of consciousness, of frequency. All this gets down to is energy and frequency and vibration. So I'm high vibe. Like, I can't be putting this low vibe things, because it's not a vibrational match. So depending where you are, it's good to have things that are a match with you so you can feel good. You know?
That's that Tesla talk right there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, because when we're talking about grounding, sometimes, and I've heard this before with others, and I've even had this happen with myself, whenever I've been on a liquid journey for a long time, or a fast for a long time, even a dry fast with no liquids or solids, and you get to a point where you feel like you're floating. You know, you feel like you're a helium balloon lifting off the ground, and you don't know how to come down. And people have asked, like, how do you ground? And so what most people go to when they don't know how to ground that energy, using nature or using meditation or using what have you, they'll just go back to food, you know, because that's immediately grounding.
I did that for a while. Yeah. I'm already so floaty and up here, like, I would do that, and you just get to a point where you realize what you're doing. And you realize other methods you can do in place of that. And it's up to you. It's your decision, you know. Oh, man, this is good.
That's one thing you always hear during this retreat. This is good, ain't it?
This is good, ain't it?
This is good, ain't it?
Did we say that?
Wow. Oh, man, oh, man. Go ahead.
Let's see. There was a book he was reading from. It's called Cloak of the Illuminati.
Right.
And we were getting all this wonderful information from it. So might be something to check out if you're interested in this information that we're sharing. Cloak of the Illuminati. And Illuminati is not a negative thing like it's been portrayed at some point. What does it say it means?
Well, he was playing fun. He was talking about we're the Illuminati.
We're the Illuminati.
Like the illumined ones, the light beings, you know, the illumined ones.
So then he talked a lot about his barefoot journey.
Yeah.
You know, like to avoid the heat was too hot for his feet. So I wrote down like heel to toe walking. Heel to toe could help.
Yeah, different tips, tricks, and techniques on how to adopt, like,
and eventually your body will adjust, and it'll be like nothing.
And it's interesting because we're always adjusting.
Yes.
We're never really static like that. You know, we think that we don't change. It's funny. I remember Cat Williams, the comedian, you know, like, nine on your march. You know, like he's like a pimp. He's like a pimp comedian. And Cat Williams once said that the worst thing someone ever told him was never change. Never change. Never change. And it's funny because you have no choice.
And they say, like, you've changed. Like, we're supposed to.
Right. We're always changing. Someone once told me, a good friend of mine, he said, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. So we don't have a choice. You know, you're going to change regardless, but we have the power to endure. We have the power to adapt. Just like Bruce Lee said, you know, don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure, you know. And so we can adapt to so many things. I remember watching this documentary, and it was like this tribe of men who would go out in front of the women and children. They would take makeshift hatchets, and they would take these satchel bags, and they would climb these giant trees, like hacking their way all the way up the tree. And these bees were around honeycombs and hives on the trees, and like zzz, all around them. They would take the honey from the top of the tree as the bees are stinging them on their body, and they would send the honey down the satchels down to the women and children. And the men, women, and children gathering the honey from the bees, they're all eating the honey, and the bees are stinging them in their mouth, stinging them on their body, and they're not even reacting. They weren't even flinching. They weren't running. They had become so adapted to doing what they were doing, going up and down the tree, up and down, that they had become immune to bee stings.
That's a good point. With everything in the world constantly changing, and if you're not changing, it's going to be harder to adapt to that or to deal with that. Or, you know, it's like everything's changing, but I'm not changing. But if you're changing with it, life is easier.
You gave a great analogy one time about musical chairs. You know what I'm saying? What happens when the music stops?
I've been saying for years, guys, since I've been working on raising my vibration, I'd be like, if you don't get with this work and raise your vibration, you're going to have no choice. It's going to be like a game of musical chairs where you're not going to have a chair anymore in the game. You know? You're not going to have a good time because the vibrations are rising. We're doing it. The planet's vibrations are rising, and we're on this planet. So even if you're not working on raising your vibration, you're going to have no choice. No choice. And it's going to be uncomfortable because you haven't been doing it with the planet. You're still, you know, didn't do it. So it's like, it's going, and you're like, and it's more uncomfortable.
But it's a fun journey. You know, and it can definitely be fun. You can have fun. You can enjoy yourself, and that's the main message as well.
It's all about feeling better.
Yeah.
It's a health message.
Yeah.
It's about feeling better.
Enjoying the journey. Yeah. What else do you have?
You can see with your feet.
Oh yeah. With these guys, you can see. You can do a lot more than walk with your feet. You can see with your feet.
Ellie Tom said he was out and there was some glass on the floor, and it's like he immediately stopped. Like he didn't see the glass. His feet like felt the glass.
He wasn't even looking down.
His aura, his auric field is in tune with this barefoot walking, and more in tune with the sensations on his feet, on his soul. So that gave him the intuitive knowing, like there's something there. Stop.
Yeah, you can call that soul senses. His soul sensed it.
And then Jenny mentioned when she's walking out in nature, she doesn't even look to the ground. She doesn't step on anything that hurts her feet,
right? Because
it's like an intuitive step. Your feet sense where they're stepping. The more you practice it, maybe not right away.
Yeah.
So the more you practice it.
Yeah, we were given these for a reason. You know, I feel like we have adapted. Technology-wise, we've adapted. Clothing-wise, we understand what we can do, but we still move the way we move. You know, we still breathe the way we breathe, and we still interact with nature the way we interact with nature. So when you talk about energy and sensing things without sight, without eyes, you can even think of like different animes we've seen, like if you've ever seen Hunter x Hunter or Dragon Ball Z, or even like One Piece or something like that, how people sense other people's power levels before they even get there. You know, how you know danger is around the corner. Yeah. We can do that too. You know?
All these ladies telling me how powerful I am. I'm like, ooh, thank you.
There you go. They had the scouter. They sense the power level. It's over 9,000. Ah!
Sometimes my energy be so strong, I have to kind of let me suppress this a little bit. I'm like, I hope I'm not too much for you because, yeah, it can be a little much.
You've even had people that asked you to bring it down.
Yeah. They said, maybe you should tone it down.
You had the stank face on. She said, tone it down.
No, not for anyone.
Oh,
not
man.
For anyone, no. The world needs us to shine bright, not to tone it down, not to dim our light. We want to fan the flame and grow that light within us and shine brighter. Do not let anybody tell you to tone it down. Or, yeah.
All it takes is one candle to light a whole room. And so we're talking to you. You know, if you feel like you have a light within yourself, even if you see someone else shining bright, that's really only a reflection. It's confirmation of the light that's already burning bright within yourself.
We all have it. Some just shine a little brighter than others. That is true. But we all have this light. And the more you work with it, you grow it. You can grow it.
And you never have to dim someone else's light to make yours shine brighter.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
So understand, just shine bright like the star you are. You know? Yeah. Much love. All right. What else we got?
Your aura and feet will sense it, class.
Your soul senses. We got the soul sensei.
The power of the Ka.
Oh, the power of the Ka. Because we did the Merkaba.
Yeah.
You've heard of the Kabbalah. We live in America. Oh, man.
That was Peter. He'd be saying some funny things.
Yeah. Shout out to Nikita from India. What? Go ahead. So what did the Ka symbolize?
When you harness the power of your Ka, which is your light body and is consciousness, and is also mana, can be called mana. Yes, is light within.
That's like the food of the gods, or like food of heaven. The mana. Yeah, mana.
So your light body is your Ka, or your consciousness, and the more you expand it and grow it and work with it, mana is secretion from the pineal. Our body, our pineal gland, produces a secretion, and that's what is also called mana, or in other terms also called amarita, and that is also DMT.
Whoa, put it together now. Put it together, connect the dots.
So the power of the Ka, the more you work with your light body, your consciousness, you no longer need to eat, sleep, or drink.
Wow. Bingo.
That's how people be doing this.
Wow.
You hear somebody that's like, there's a shaman in Peru that's 250 years old that doesn't eat, sleep, or drink. I've heard of this personally. And like, how they do that? They're working with the light. They're working with a light body.
They gotta be.
They
working
said
with
that if
something.
you work with the dark energies, you can do a lot of things, but you're gonna somehow. What did she say that the brujos that work with the dark energy in Peru, they be dying from random things like falling off a roof and dying.
Strange death.
At an earlier age, not living as long. But if you work with the light, that's where immortality comes in.
So there's always a price to pay.
Yes.
For different types. Yeah. He said Kamehameha. Look at that. Laugh. Kamehameha. He put it on it. I love it. Go ahead with it.
The Philosopher's Stone.
Oh yeah, we was putting it together with that one.
Yeah.
The white stone.
To detox, regenerate, and heal. Yeah, we talked about that. That's it.
Nice. So, wow, there were just so many ideas, so many things that we talked about, and just putting it all together. Let me see if I can bring up anything. Light is nutrition. You know, when we talk about the nutrition is light, and light is nutrition, or even like information. You know, information is food, food is information. The higher forces are always seeking you. When you think of us being like conductive, you know, and doing things that are more conducive for that level of conductivity to allow the light that's always seeking you, to allow the energy, the electricity that's always seeking you anyways, to find you, you know, becoming like a beacon to allow these things into your
We're all beacons of light.
Yeah.
That's why humanity is here, to help the earth. Yeah. Shine your light.
Shine your light, you know, shine it bright. And so whenever he was talking about electricity and how when you look at things, how it runs to certain things, even when you think of like, I guess like a wire or a static shock. He gave the difference between a static shock and then another shock where you touch somebody or you touch something and, you know, you get shocked. But the electricity.
It came from you. Yeah. It didn't come from what you touched. It came from you. Yeah.
So you have electricity all in throughout your body. You know, nature is electric. Trees are electric. Plants are electric. I mean, there's electricity in everything. You know, that's alive. So, yeah, these are the things that you start to learn. One more thing before we head out.
What?
Anything that you recall?
Oh man, I just connected so much that I've read over the years. You know, like you should read things over and over again because as you're growing, it might not click. It might click one way, but then you hear it like several years later, and then you're like, wow, like. So a lot of this stuff I've read before, but his perception and the way he articulated it, it just like.
And also Shayna too, you know.
Ellie Tom's so good at simplifying things,
Yeah.
making things simple to digest.
Yeah, simplicity is like, you know, next to genius, basically. It's brilliant, you know, when you can simplify something and bring it down for somebody to understand. Like if you can communicate it to a baby, you know, if you can explain something to a toddler, then that's the level that I want to get to be able to do that.
I've heard if you can't explain it in a simplified way, you shouldn't be saying it.
So, repetition is the mother of skill. Consistency is the DNA of mastery. Hearing these things over and over and over again. And even when you teach it to somebody, you get to learn it twice. That's the benefit of teaching. You get to learn it again.
He says like a lot of these, like the way we talk about it in spirituality and other terms like that, it kind of maybe might confuse people because of the way religion has been manipulated over the years. It's been manipulated so any type of spiritual or religious talk might make it a little confusing. So we're looking at this in a simplified way that all is energy, all is frequency, all is vibration. This is not spiritual or religious. This is reality. It's reality. It's truth.
It's energy.
It's truth.
You know? And when you simplify things to just energy, it makes it really easy to access. You know, easy to grab a hold of. Because that's usually what the mind wants to do anyway. It wants to grab a hold of something. It wants to make sense of something. So when you put all the esoteric things and you kind of say, okay, it's just energy, then you can understand something like that.
And science is now talking about all of this. So it's just a matter of time before the rest of humanity catches on.
And yet, these are ancient things.
Ancient.
This is like we're almost late, you know, to the party.
That's what Ellie Tom said.
Yeah. These things were going on way years ago. You know, centuries ago. So this is like a remembering, a refresher, a relearning. You know.
Like, why are we not taught this in school?
That's a good question.
Think about it.
Why is this too cool for school? You know, is this conscious curriculum something that they might add in the coming years? We're already seeing like meditation that is making its way into the school system. They're letting kids meditate, you know, during periods, interludes, intermissions between classes. And it almost felt like we were in daycare for a second today because we had a little doubt.
We got in the car and I was like, this is the real school.
Yeah.
This is the real class.
It did feel like that.
You know? But then there are certain schools like you've talked about that teach children to see
without eyes.
Without eyes. To use their extrasensory abilities.
I thought that was amazing. You know, when you think about, there's these kids in London and there's also kids in India, and they go to these places where they learn these things, and they have these mindfolds where they have this big old mindfold and it's completely dark. You can't see anything out of it, and these kids are able to play, they're able to write, they're able to read and interact with each other without using their eyes.
They'll be drawing something and then they'd be like, what is it? And they'll know exactly what they're drawing.
Mm-hmm. And the cool thing about this is it doesn't even have to be in front of them. It could be behind them.
And you know how they're doing it. Mm-hmm. How they're not seeing it with their physical eye. They're seeing it with their mind, mm-hmm. with their consciousness. Mm-hmm. Your consciousness can see.
Yeah. There are kids that open up to these abilities, and they say that usually around between the ages of 6 and 12 mm-hmm. is the best time for kids to develop those abilities, because their mind hasn't gone towards that analytical left side, or it's not fully developed, the logical side.
Instead of thinking so much, they're feeling.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling state. Mm-hmm. So the world hasn't told them no mm-hmm. enough times that they shut off that part of the brain that allows them to imagine. Mm-hmm. Like no one told them they couldn't, so they just believed they could. Mm-hmm. And so they did.
Their natural abilities.
Yeah. Our supernatural abilities. So when you hear about these children, and even now adults who are going back and they're discovering that they can open themselves up in this way as well. I've heard of people, even as far as in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, coming to these newfound abilities that they had no idea that they had.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's all up to you. It doesn't matter your age. You don't have to be a child. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter your age.
It's just the level of commitment and dedication that you have towards something.
Mm-hmm. Expand consciousness, expand information, mm-hmm. remove blockages. Mm-hmm. That's key.
Yeah.
Just remove blockages. Mm-hmm.
And the blockage doesn't even have to necessarily always be something that you put inside.
Not always physical.
Sometimes energetically, we get put down with people in our environment, with mm-hmm. things in our environment, because like we say, some environments are more nutritious than others. Mm-hmm. And I remember that there was a girl sitting down. She had on her mindfold or her blindfold. Mm-hmm. She was reading out of a book, and the teacher was, asking her, okay, what does it say there? What does it say there? And her father was in the back, and her father was a non-believer. He didn't believe that his daughter could do all this stuff. He was just taking her to the classes, paying the money because, this is what he was doing. But then at one point, he looked over and he noticed his daughter was reading, and he said, no, she can't be doing that. She's not even looking at the book. So something within him got up, and he decided to walk towards his daughter. And as soon as he got within her energetic field, within her field and her radius, she said, I can't see. She said, something happened. She said, I don't know what happened. She said, my vision is gone. And the teacher kindly asked the father to step back. Can you step back a few paces? He stepped away. Wow. And when he got within range, when he got outside of the range, she could see again.
Wow.
Her inner sight came back online.
That's proof right there. So the people that could be in your field could be blocking you from some of these things as well.
Mm-hmm. So it's good to understand, what is the energy you keep around you? What is the company you keep? What did you say about the dragon and the panda?
There are these little pictures, the dragon and the panda. They give all these wonderful messages. It's not always the journey. It's the company.
It's the company. Yeah. So comparison is the thief of all joy. It robs you of something when you try to compare your journey to somebody else's journey. Comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. Thinking, I should be there by now. I've been doing all the things. Why am I not there yet? So just embracing where you are, loving who you are.
that goes into divine timing. You know, remember that everything is divine timing. You have a purpose. Certain things are not unlocked in you for a reason. Sometimes it's gonna unlock and click when it's meant to.
Yeah.
And the more you try to rush it and force it, the more you're pushing that away from yourself, because like Shayna said, you're putting it out there that you don't already have it.
Yeah, you're projecting the energy of lack, of scarcity. Speaking of which, what Janet was just talking about, purpose. If you're watching this right now, comment down below, what do you feel like your purpose is? What do you feel like your mission is? What do you feel like you came here to do? You know, when they talk about gifts, our purpose, our mission, it's really interesting to hear everyone's different take on it. So what do you feel is yours? You know, I love that quote once again. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So what do you feel like is your gift to the world? What do you feel like is the gift that you've been given to give back? Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it could be something that gets like hard for us to get out of bed in the morning if we don't really know our purpose. Like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? You know, but the more you realize and remember your purpose, you just want to get up every day. You know, it gives you that excitement for life. And the way I found my purpose is just living in alignment with my soul. Because we are in this body for only a temporary time, but our souls are eternal. So your soul is what you should be guiding you, not the body or the mind. Your soul is the one that should be guiding you. So if your soul doesn't agree with something, I advise, if you want to be in alignment, you gotta not do that thing. You know, the more we do things that our soul does not agree with, the more we're keeping ourselves out of alignment, and that's not gonna lead you to your purpose. You're gonna get led to your purpose so effortlessly and naturally, and it'll be fun if you choose to live in alignment with your soul. And I can help you with that if you'd like.
Just putting it out there. Wow.
The world needs that, that's why. I don't want to do it just, the world needs all of us, not just myself, Jerome. It needs all of us to live from our souls and to find our purpose.
So the world needs you.
Yeah.
So once again, listen to your soul, plant your soul in the soil, and let the soul hit you.
We're all just pieces of this larger puzzle.
Yeah.
So if we all need everyone to, if you all know your purpose, it's like, or not even then, we're just all coming together, each piece just creating this beautiful picture.
Yeah. And we may not have it all together.
Yeah.
But together.
That's what I was saying. We have it all.
Come on! You got it all. You got it all. So much love to you. Thank you so much for being. Appreciate you for breathing in this space. You could have been anywhere, any place. We appreciate you. Much gratitude. Take care, and we'll see you again very soon. All right.